Registration Day and is also 6 weeks until the midterm elections on November 6th. Filmmaker Michael Moore has a new movie out, Fahrenheit 11/9, pegged to those elections, which we talked about during our hour-long show in Flint, Michigan earlier this month. He joins me again tonight, talk about the midterms, his new movie, and more. Are you registered to vote? Have you gotten your registration in?
I'm registered. I vote in the first precinct, voting in Traverse City, Michigan.
So there's a lot to talk about. First, I want to get your reaction to the President of the United States. Literally in front of world leaders today, saying we've accomplished more in 2 years, and a room full of trained diplomats who are trained not to react, bursting out laughing.
Right, and who were sure that they were not at Caroline's or Stand Up New York. That they were and Trump clearly. The first thing I thought of was, though, this whatever happened to him in that military school that he got sent to, what happened to him today happened every day. And, you know, I wasn't there, but I'm just guessing that we're paying the price for, and what he heard today were those tweens who were laughing at him back then.
I had the exact same thought, because this is a reported story that, you know, his determination to run was forged in the crucible, being mocked at that infamous White House Correspondents' Dinner where President Obama and Seth Meyers just absolutely took the stuffing out of him. And this is the motivating factor for so much of what he does. Right.
So which means, what hell will we pay?
That was the first thought I had as well.
Or which countries that were laughing the hardest will be bombed tomorrow. I mean, really, you can't laugh at him like this, and I always.
But you can. See, that's the thing, right? Like, that's what makes us still a free society.
Well, yes, we can, because we have the right to.
Right.
But for in his mind, that's not allowed. And I thought during the debates, during the campaign, had Hillary just slipped a comedy shiv under his very thin skin, just with anything that would have just, you know, zinged him. You know, he could have imploded right on.
Yeah, although she did. I mean, she did get under his very, very thin skin repeatedly. A lot of people do. But
when he was stalking her during the debate, there were at least 3 or 4 great lines to turn around and give him.
So we know that he sort of is looking around constantly, assessing who's loyal to him and who's not.
Yes.
And there was all this crazy hullabaloo about Rod Rosenstein.
Yes.
In the last few days, and a real question. I was going back and forth with some folks who are sources of mine about, what do you do if he's fired? Like, is this the moment? When's the red line moment of America slipping past some sort of
let me explain what I think what happened yesterday with everyone in that fire drill that everyone was participating in. Remember, in New York, Trump was one of the #1 leakers of information news, even calling up with his own voice and pretending to be somebody else.
Yes. Love talking to the press, love feeding stories of Page 6.
It's quite likely that what happened yesterday, all the Rosenstein stuff, was put out there by him or his people to create a distraction from what? The fact that he may have a Supreme Court nominee going down. And remember, he is the master distractor. He is the king of the misdirect. And we're always being played by Trump. He always knows what he's doing when he does this. So he's got everybody all thinking about Thursday, and we're confused now. Do we cover Rosenstein? Do we organize walkouts on Kavanaugh? He's just a genius, an evil genius at this.
That imputes more tactical acumen to him than I think a lot of people around him feel.
I give him the credit for figuring out how to win an election by losing by 3 million votes.
Right.
Oh yeah. No, when you have that kind of twisted thinking and the ability to do that.
So you think this is a setup?
I think it's a possibility, and we should consider that we're being played again.
But then don't you end up
because the real issue is, are women going to have rights over their own reproductive organs? That's what this whole Kavanaugh thing is going to be about. And do we allow the sexual predator in chief, the admitted sexual predator in chief, to place people on the Supreme Court, first while he's under investigation, which he shouldn't be allowed to make any of these appointments, but also he's picking the type of people that are essentially like him. And this whole thing needs a whole investigation now. This should not go forward. And I don't see how they're going to get away with it. And somebody must be advising the Republicans that if you do this, we're going to have hell to pay on November 6th.
I think they are, but I think they don't care. I mean, I really do. I think that they are going to have hell to pay, but I also think they desperately want a conservative court, and they think this is the way to get it.
Okay, do you remember back when we were in high school, there were those guys, okay?
We were in high school, Michael?
Well, we were not in high school together at the same time, because you're a little older than I am. But when we were each in high school, we know these kinds of guys. We know these sexual predator guys, the guys that were abusive to women, the guys that were all, we called them D-bags, right? That was the term. We've had to live with these guys our whole lives. And this thing, whatever went on in Georgia, if you read that yearbook, it's stunning that it's a Catholic high school. That this stuff was in the. We don't have time to go into it now, but please Google and go in and read these pages of the yearbook, because I can't believe this is a Catholic. I went to Catholic schools, and first of all, can I just point out there is no Saint Brett. So I don't know where the Brett comes from, but there is, unless he's the patron saint of keggers.
That's disqualifying.
That isn't disqualifying. I just don't understand. Everybody had a Brett or a Brad. Right. In their high school. And you know what I'm talking about.
Well, they're very evocative of a specific kind of sort of loutish, macho, male adolescent behavior that's
Correct.
Gross. And one hopes that people that engaged in outgrew, and it would be nice to see someone be honest about their change.
Right. But then now we hear about these stories from college. Right. And, yes, he's innocent until proven guilty, but this isn't a court of law. This is about what we know. And what does your instinct tell you? My instinct, what we is that men, boys who behave in this manner once, they do it again, they do it a third time, they do it the fourth time, and there are other women who will come forward, and if he ends up on the Supreme Court and we have to deal with it, then we don't want to do that. This is crazy, and everybody should go to cancelkavanaugh.com, because there will be what we really need to be dealing with in these next 4 days.
Michael Moore, thank you again. The movie Fahrenheit 11/9 is out in theaters.